What is up, guys? Welcome to a brand new video. Today we'll be discussing Rainbow Six Siege closed beta. I'll be doing a review of the game, talking about the pros, the cons, what they should put into the game, what should take out of the game, what should they update the game once the final release comes out on December 1st, 2015. But before we get started, for some of you who don't know what Rainbow Six is about, Rainbow Six is a first-person shooter game which deals with hostages, rescuing hostages, eliminating terrorists, and its main theme was the story-based content, the story-based missions. Rainbow Six has been around since 1998. That's a long time this series have been around. Now, before Rainbow Six Siege was essentially out, its essential official release date was in 2013. It wasn't called Rainbow Six Siege at that time. It was called Rainbow Six Patriots. Rainbow Six Patriots had to do with the same thing that all the other games did: counterterrorism, rescuing the hostage. But this time, it had to deal with people upset at the government, trying to essentially get rid of the government and create a new type of government system. And that's when the Rainbow Six team came in. They were to prevent that from happening and take out these terrorists. So essentially it was like a mixed thing. Like, either they were kind of the good guys and they were kind of also the bad guys, the way they were doing it. But it was essentially, release date was going to be on December 30th, 2013. Now, a few months before its release date, Tom Clancy, the guy who came up with the idea, the one who wrote the books, because actually, surprising or not, the Rainbow Six series is actually a book series. So I think it's just a book. I'm not sure, but it's a big, thick book. I mean, I tried reading it, I did not get through it. It's a big, thick book. I have to tell you, it's a really big book. But the one who came up with it, Tom Clancy, died on October 1st of 2013. Now, a month after he died, Ubisoft decided to scrap everything of Patriots, which is kind of weird. I think the reason why they probably did that, since now he died, they somehow got the rights. I don't know. You can read it up. I don't really remember. I read up during that time in 2013 when I did, but I forgot. But if you want to know more about it, just go up and read about it, Wikipedia or whatever. But when a few months after he died, or a month after he died, rumors started going around that they were going to scrap the idea of Rainbow Six Patriots. And essentially, we didn't hear anything about it in 2014. Come around the middle of 2014, we heard about Rainbow Six Siege. We heard about Rainbow Six Siege that was going to be released in 2015. And they also told us that there was going to be no story content, which was a bummer for all of us players who have been around since the first game of Rainbow Six, which had all of its games were based on storyline. Like, everything was it had a story to it. But when they told us that they were going to just do multiplayer and they're going to be their main focus, some of us fans, hardcore fans like me, who've been around and played the game since 2003, I was really disappointed because I was looking forward to Rainbow Six Patriots. The way it was presented, it looked like it was going to be a phenomenal game. But when they came to us and told all the people that Rainbow Six Siege was going to be more focused on its multiplayer content, our level of expectation for the game essentially my level. I can't speak for other people, but I know some people are kind of bummed. Some friends of mine who are still hardcore fans of it. Our level for the game kind of went down a notch. But I mean, I guess they have a point, because I mean, all the Rainbow Six games all had story content. It was basically everything. It was basically the Rainbow Six main focus. They probably want to change it into more what everyone else is playing now, which is more multiplayer. Like, look at Call of Duty. Everyone who gets Call of Duty just does it for the multiplayer. Rarely I hear someone saying, "Oh, I'm getting Call of Duty for the storyline." It's more for the multiplayer. So with that said, I can kind of understand where they're coming from, saying, "Oh, we're gonna focus more on multiplayer." Now, this is where my review starts coming in. My first impression when I started playing the game was it's just amazing. It was just amazing. Now, there's certain things they took out that was during the alpha. Now, for some of you who don't know, I was able to get into the alpha of Rainbow Six Siege, and they took out the feature where when you get shot, you can still fire back. They disabled that now you can't do anything. Now, I wish they would still have kept that, because when you're shot, essentially when you're shot and you're laying there, you still have the ability, if you're wounded and you're actually holding your blood from leaking out, you still have the ability to pull out your pistol and shoot. They had that in the alpha, but for some apparent reason they took that out. Also, another thing I dislike, the shields. They're so OP. Like, you cannot destroy these shields unless you shoot at the guy's leg. You can't destroy him at all. The only way to take out the guy is either go around and run in circles, try to go around him, shoot him in the back, or shoot his legs till he like starts moving his shield and you shoot him. That's the only thing that bugs me, is the shields. Also, I'm not sure if this is going to be official, but I did not see the plane map. The plane map was an airport map, essentially. It was a plane that was on the runway, and essentially the terrorists have taken over the plane, and you were supposed to go in and storm into that plane. That one was very tense, because it was a closed environment, like really cramped, that you actually had to look at tight corners, see if there's no one around the corner. It was a very tense environment. I'm not sure if they took that out or if that wasn't just in the beta. If it was in the beta, then it'll probably be on launch. Also, the numerous of bugs and glitches and disconnecting and everything that went on. Hopefully they fix this before the launch. I mean, before the launch, everything must be fixed. But considering this is done by Ubisoft, or Ubisoft, whatever you prefer to call it, since it's being done, I kind of have a feeling that those bugs and glitches will not be fixed. Anyways, now to my essentially good parts of the game. I love the game. It's just fantastic. I mean, it was the way they have the way the NPCs are done. I mean, they're essentially they're smart. I had this one friend, we were doing a video, and he thought that the terrorists in Terrorist Hunt were actually real players, considering the way they were actually, these NPCs are maneuvering, and the way they do this, they make it look like they're actually real players. I mean, they chase you, they go around to flank you, they essentially, if you see them and you shoot at them and you run away, they chase you. They literally chase you. Or essentially they tend to be in one group, but once the drones find them, they split up or they scatter, so you have to go find them. That is what I loved in this Rainbow Six Siege closed beta. From all the other games, when I used to do Terrorist Hunt with Rainbow Six Strafe and Shield, the terrorists were act dumb. They'll be facing the wall even if you're right behind them. Well, sometimes they do that in this one, but anyways, the maps, the way the maps are done, it's amazing. Also, the way the texture of the game is, it's all right. I mean, I don't notice a difference between ultra, medium, and high. Oh, was it? It's ultra, high, and ultra, high, and medium. I don't see any difference between those two. Hopefully that's something they're working on. And also another thing I forgot to mention the cons. The cons is the lag. In order for you not to get lag, I had to be in medium settings. Now I have a well enough good graphics card and computer. Yes, it's an Alienware, I understand it's an Alienware, but it's good. It can run games good. I have a computer that's able to run this game at ultra, yet I get lag like my internet is lag. It's not lag of graphic lag or texture lag, it's lag because for some apparent reason I do not know. But that's something I've heard other players when I play also address, is the lag. They should get that fixed. So essentially this game, in my opinion, as being a hardcore Rainbow Six fan, I love this game. I pre-ordered it. Now some of you might disagree with my pre-ordering considering this is from Ubisoft. Now, I have been waiting for this game since 2013 when they announced Rainbow Six Patriots. So I honestly do not care about it as long as I get the game. I really just want to get the game. I've been waiting since 2013 and I just want to get it. That's how I feel right now. I just want to grab it. I mean, some of you people who've actually, or some of you who've probably played it but weren't really as hardcore fans like I am of Rainbow Six. I mean, I'm a fan of Tom Clancy. I mean, I've pretty much read all his teen novel books, almost all his adult books. But essentially, that shows you how much of a hardcore fan I am, Tom Clancy. So essentially, I just want to get this game. With that said, Rainbow Six Siege is just, in my opinion, it's a good game. For those of you who are not really hardcore fans like I am and ask me if you should pre-order, no, you should not pre-order. That's just my opinion. But I know I'm being a hypocrite here and saying don't pre-order yet. Look at me, I'm pre-ordering the game. But like I said, I'm pre-ordering the game because I've been waiting for this game since 2013, and I've been waiting for it so long. I really don't care if I get it and it's glitchy, as long as I have it and it's a Rainbow Six and it's there in my Steam library. That's how I feel right now. But essentially, the game is just phenomenal. I love the game. It's beyond amazing. Now, I am also, like I said before, I am a bit disappointed that there's going to be no story content to the game, which is a very, very big thing for me, is story content. Every time I get a game, it has to have story content. Always, it needs to have story content. Can I live without the story content? Yes. As long as they have maps, different maps. If they're just gonna have the maps that they have now plus 2 more additional maps, it's gonna get boring. If they come up with maybe DLCs or stuff like that to get different maps, or they come up with updates that introduce more new maps, it will be fun for the rest of us, because they're adding more stuff and more new stuff to essentially get the players to keep on playing. But if they just keep, okay, this is the launch, this is the game, this is the only map you're gonna get, that's that. It's gonna essentially get boring after 3 weeks or 4 weeks, about a month. It's gonna get boring. People are gonna lose interest in it. So if they would essentially add more maps to terrorist hunt, more missions, for example, hostage rescue. Maybe not just hostage rescue and defuse the bomb, maybe essentially look for just different scenarios that you would think of, that you can think of, that goes on in like a SWAT team or a terrorist situation, or anything you can think of. If they can do that, the game will be much funner. Terrorist hunt is good where it is. Terrorist hunt is just, they have the new thing they also add is normal, hard, and realistic. That's something they did. That's something they had in the previous Rainbow Six games. Was you had realistic, you had easy, you had hard, and you had like really hard, or something like that, or something along the lines like that. If they can add more missions to the terrorist hunt, for example, terrorist hunt and save a hostage, that will make it more fun. Also, the lone wolf thing, that's amazing. All the Rainbow Six had the lone wolf thing. It's just you hunt the terrorists by yourself, 1 life, that's it. So yeah, that is my impression and my review of the Rainbow Six Siege closed beta. Tell me, guys, what you think of the game. What are your thoughts on the game? I would love to know what you actually think of the game. Tell me if you guys have previously played the old. Tell me if some of you actually played the first Rainbow Six game that came out in 1998. I would love to hear from you and how it actually was. If you will look up online or on YouTube and you look up Rainbow Six Raven Shield or Rainbow Six Rogue Spear, and you compare them for the ones now, the game is just different. But for back then, that was amazing. That was just amazing. I remember when I was playing it, I was just in awe of the game, like, oh, look, it's a shooter game, but you shoot terrorists and things like that. But yeah, that is pretty much my impression. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, most all subscribe. Yeah, and I'll be seeing you all later.